Hello, folks. This is Sam, and you are watching Sam's Wisdom. Hey there, friends. I'm Sam. You know, over the years, I've come to learn a thing or two about life and the choices we make, especially when it comes to where we spend our later years. Today, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind, a topic that's personal and sometimes a little painful. Why some folks regret moving into a nursing home. Now, I'm not here to scare anyone off or to tell you that every nursing home is a bad place. There are good ones out there. But I've listened to some stories that I think are worth sharing. Stories that you might hear from folks you know, or even a neighbor of mine. Reason 1. Insufficient staffing. You know, one of the first things I've heard about is how some nursing homes just don't have enough staff. I remember Mrs. Johnson, my neighbor, used to talk about how she felt like she was waiting forever for even the simplest help. A missed medication, a skipped walk, or even a call for a little assistance. Everything seemed delayed. When you don't have enough caring hands around, it's like your needs get lost in the shuffle. And that, my friends, can lead to a lot of regret later when you realize that you weren't really cared for the way you should be. Reason 2. Poor living conditions. Then there's the living conditions. You'd think a place meant to be your home in your later years would be safe and cozy. But sometimes, the reality is a bit different. I've seen old photos of some facilities, places where the hallways weren't properly cleaned, or where broken equipment was left unattended. It's not just about hygiene. It's about feeling secure in your own space. When you step through those doors, you should feel cared for, not like you're in a fixer-upper with constant reminders that things are falling apart. Reason 3. Abuse, neglect, and mistreatment. Now, this is the heavy part, and believe me, it's one of the saddest reasons I hear. Some seniors end up experiencing neglect or even abuse, physical or emotional. I once heard a story about an old friend, someone who lived in a facility where the staff, overwhelmed by shortage, sometimes treated residents more like a number than a person. It hurt to hear how little simple kindness mattered until it was too late. It's a reminder that every one of us deserves dignity, and when that dignity is compromised, regret can set in like a heavy fog. Reason 4. Lack of personalized care. And then there's the lack of that personal touch. A nursing home, by its very nature, is a busy place. Sometimes, the personalized care that makes you feel like a person, your routines, your preferences, just gets lost. I remember a neighbor of mine whose children always called ahead, reassuring themselves that everything was fine. But one day, they dropped by unexpectedly, just to get a glimpse of their dad's day, and they found him sitting alone at lunch, barely spoken to by the staff. That hit everyone hard. It wasn't that the place was entirely bad, it was that its approach was so standardized that individual care simply wasn't there. Reason 5. Loss of independence. Another big one is the loss of independence. We cherish our independence, don't we? Making our own decisions, even about the little things, like when to have a cup of tea, or choose which show to watch. These small freedoms mean a lot. Some seniors come to regret the moment they realize that their daily lives are dictated by someone else's schedule. It's like a slow surrender of control, and that loss can leave you feeling more like a patient than a person. Reason 6. Emotional and social isolation. Lastly, let's talk about isolation. Funny thing, isn't it? You might think that being in a community means you're never alone. But sometimes, despite being surrounded by people, a loneliness can creep in. My neighbor's story comes back here. The children were always in the loop when they called ahead, but when they visited without notice, they sometimes found a place where genuine conversations were rare. Even in a busy facility, if you're not truly being seen and heard, that isolation can build up over time. And that's one of the reasons many come to regret the choice when the promise of community feels a bit hollow. Now, I'm not saying every nursing home is a regrettable choice. I know some facilities truly care for their residents. Places where staff greet you by name, where there's genuine warmth in every smile, and every resident is treated as a unique person with a story of their own. But if you're looking at your options, or if you, or someone you love, might one day have to make that choice, it's essential to do your homework. Visit the facilities unannounced sometimes. Trust your gut, and don't be shy about asking plenty of questions. Remember, a well-researched choice can make all the difference in ensuring you get the care you deserve. At the end of the day, we all want a place that feels like home, a safe haven where you're respected, comfortable, and truly cared for. Imagine a place where staff take the time to listen to your stories, where your daily routines aren't just rushed checklists, but tailored to help you feel engaged and valued. A place where meals are not only nutritious but served with a side of friendly conversation, and where the little touches, like a favorite song on the radio or a cozy nook by a window, make all the difference. It might take a bit more digging to find that gem, but trust me, it's worth it. I've seen a few shining examples over the years. Nursing homes where residents look forward to family visits because they know they're not alone, where little community events lift the spirit, and where the staff really invest in each person's comfort and happiness. These good places exist, and they remind us that, even in challenging times, there's always hope and care out there. Thank you for sharing these moments with me today. I hope that by understanding these issues and knowing what to look for, you can approach this decision with both caution and optimism. If you found this discussion helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel for more honest, no-fluff conversations about life, health, and everything in between. I'm Sam, and I'm truly glad you're here with me. Stay safe, take care of yourself, and never forget that you deserve a place that feels like home.